Hi, this is chapter 10 on my shortly to be published book, Becoming You, titled Becoming the Person Your Inner Child Needed. So almost everyone who walks into a therapy room is carrying the same quiet hope, even if they never quite say it out loud. If I could just stop feeling like this, if the anxiety would finally lift, if life would become a little more manageable and a little less relentless, it is a completely reasonable thing to want. But it is not actually where healing leads, because life does not become easy. It was never designed to be. The storms keep arriving, sometimes with warning, sometimes without. People still let us down in exactly the ways that hurt the most. We still make mistakes, our own included. Nothing about the outside world reorganizes itself simply because we have done our inner work. So if the weather never really changes, what does? What changes is this. You stop meeting all of it alone. Someone finally stays with you when things get hard, instead of quietly stepping back at the very moment you needed them to remain. And that someone, the one who learns to stay, is you. Not some flawless, finished version of yourself, just you, a little more truthful with yourself than you used to be, a little more able to remain present in your own difficulty rather than fleeing from it. The goal of healing is not to leave your inner child behind. It is to become the adult they have been waiting for all along. So let's ask the real question this chapter is built on. Not can I hear myself, not can I trust myself, because you already have been answering those in your own way. The question now is simply, who have I become? Not have I finally fixed myself, because fixing was never really the point, and it was always one of the inner critic's favourite disguises, always dangling just out of reach so you would never quite arrive. Just honestly, with the same curiosity you've been building this whole time, has the person I am today become someone my younger self was actually hoping for? That single question reframes everything you have done up to now. All the noticing, the listening, the trust you have slowly rebuilt, the reparenting, none of it has been some abstract self-improvement project. It has been the patient construction of a relationship, arguably the most important one you will ever have. And the true test of its health is not some outside benchmark. It is whether the part of you that most needed someone to stay, to understand, to never abandon, would finally feel safe in your presence. Here is where it can quietly unravel again. Even after all this progress, the inner critic rarely disappears completely. It simply finds a new angle. Instead of attacking your worth outright, it starts grading your progress. You should be further along by now. Other people seem to manage this so much better. What have you achieved? Still is not quite enough. Let me be direct with you here. Still having hard days does not mean the work has failed. The inner critic still speaking sometimes, your inner child still getting frightened sometimes. You still occasionally are losing your footing. None of that is failure. That is simply being human. What has actually shifted is not the storm itself. It is who shows up to meet you inside that storm. Someone notices now. Someone actually listens. Someone can hold the reality of the difficulty without deciding it defines you forever. And that someone is you. There is one more trap worth mentioning, however. We tend to picture real change as something loud, something obvious, some obvious turning point with fireworks attached. No, but your relationship with yourself rarely transforms that way. It shows up quietly instead, in the moment you catch yourself responding differently than you once would have. In the flicker of curiosity where criticism used to live, in the boundary you set that would have felt impossible not so long ago, in an ordinary day that would have once have just knocked you flat, simply passing by unremarkably. These are not small victories dressed up to look important. They are genuinely significant, wearing very plain clothes, and they deserve to be named for exactly what they are. So here is something I would like you to actually try right now, wherever you are. Picture meeting your younger self today, not to undo anything, because you cannot rewrite what's already happened, and trying only keeps your face turned toward the past. Simply let them meet who you have become. What might they have noticed in you? What quality would feel like the thing they had quietly been hoping for all along, without ever having the words to ask? Perhaps they would notice someone who listens instead of rushing straight to solutions. Someone who takes their word seriously without demanding proof of any kind. Someone who stays through the difficult stretches rather than growing distant or suddenly very busy. Someone honest, but never harsh. Someone whose "I'm here" actually means something, even when staying is costly. Because underneath this whole chapter sits one simple truth. Healing is not becoming someone your inner child would admire. It is becoming someone your inner child can finally rest with. Admiration can exist at a distance. You can be impressed by someone and still keep them at arm's length. Resting with someone is entirely different. It means the relationship is genuinely safe enough to bring your real self, not your best behaved self. It means no criticism when you are struggling, no impatience when you are slow, no disappointment when you fall short. Your inner child was never asking you to be extraordinary, just present, just reliable, just kind, just someone who will not leave. Before you go, here is something practical to carry with you. Find a few quiet minutes this week where nobody will interrupt you. Close your eyes and picture yourself as a child, as clearly as you can. Notice their age, their face, whatever they seem to be holding on to. Then simply sit beside them. No fixing, no agenda, no rush to find the perfect words. Ask what they most need you to know, and then actually listen the whole way through without correcting or hurrying them along. When they finish, say the words that are true. I hear you, I believe you, I'm here for you. You do not have to carry this alone anymore. We will walk together from now on. Stay a little longer, simply present beside them, and before you finish, thank them. Not only for surviving, although that alone was no small thing, but for never quite giving up on you, even during the seasons when you had very little to offer back. Because that has been the invitation of this entire chapter. Not perfection, not certainty, not the disappearance of every old wound, simply the willingness to become a little more each day, the adult your inner child has been waiting for all along. See you in the next chapter.